Body, peace, peace, peace. What a great game tonight. Woo! Everybody, welcome to Prime Sports Media tonight. Exciting game. It was a great game. We're talking about the, hey, it was a classic. They made it a classic. You know, the Rocky Mountain Showdown lived up to the hype of it all. I got a few things that I want to say tonight that it lets me know that content creators and those of us out here who have an opinion about what's happening at CU, what's happening with players, where things are going with this football team, Rocky Mountain Showdown. We know that CSU, Colorado State, was talking a lot of trash. And Coach Prime addressed that in the press conference tonight. I'm going to let you see that. I got the full press conference with Coach Prime tonight where he addresses for them to come out and do what they did, the way they were talking about CU, it had to be endorsed by the staff. It had to be endorsed by the coach. I mean, they did a whole complete video talking trash about who wants it the most, and maybe it'll get them some Instagram views. And I said in the other video, in the pre-video to the pregame of this rivalry, I said it very clear that I believe that there's some jealousy that these players have. We're talking about Bradley, the quarterback. I don't care if I'm not saying his name correct. And then we had Torrey, the receiver Torrey. Both of them were talking mad trash. And I think he ended up not even finishing the game. He was already previously banged up from the week before. You know, Jay Norvo, you should have kept your guy out of this game. You should have gave him some rest. He was already playing hampered. But he was talking a lot of trash. How do you talk a lot of trash when you're already banged up and hurt? You lost a bad game. You lost a game, I think, according to Coach Prime. You lost a pretty bad game, just like CU lost a bad game last week. So, Coach Norvell, you've got your players talking a lot of trash, and they didn't back any of it up whatsoever. Let's start this off right, everybody, with giving you a taste of the trash that they were talking and how everything that they said has been put right back to them. Because they said that, hey, they did the same thing that the coach of Oregon did last year, saying that they're playing for clicks and views, and maybe they'll get some Instagram views. And then Torrey had a nerve to run his mouth about, hey, Coach Prime is not playing out there, and talking about how they have the celebrities on the sideline and what have you. And I said it, there is a air of jealousy from CSU because ever since Coach Prime has gotten to town, he's taken all the air out of their balloon, because prior to Coach Prime being there, CSU in this classic, they were the team that everybody was talking about in Colorado. They weren't talking about, outside of the Denver Broncos, they weren't talking about CU until Coach Prime got there and turned some things around. And I think they are jealous that the air has been pulled out of their balloon in this game of the week. The game of the week, college football 25 EA Sports. I should be getting a damn commercial pay for this one. They got beat, and everything that they said went right back to them. They ran their mouth, and they lost. They lost last year against CU in double overtime. And then they win this time convincingly, right? These guys are talking about, we've been waiting to play them all year. We got them in our dreams. Well, you look silly right now. You look really silly. And let me get you let you hear a taste of this, just a little taste of this, to put everything in perspective in this win tonight, 28-9. You notice that the win that CU had tonight was sort of similar to how Nebraska beat them last week. A very similar score, 28-10 last week, and then they redeemed themselves by beating one of their interstate rivals in Colorado State 28-9. And they shouldn't even have had 9 points. And none of their receivers scored a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. Not one touchdown. whatsoever. Let me just let this play real quick. And check this out.
We owed them one. And that's just something that's been sitting on everybody, mind since we came back from break. We owe them. And we walked away from that game, as, we kind of left it all on the field. I don't feel like we left it all on the field because we should have murdered them guys. And, they came out with that attitude as they were on top of the world. And this ain't no Cinderella story, so we coming for revenge.
Yeah, they came out with that attitude and thought it was going to be a cakewalk. They saw the reports, 27.5 points or whatever it was. And they got a rude awakening real quick. And I think it goes to show that the hype, the media train, all that, it only gets you so far. At the end of the day, you have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys, and we'll find out who wants it more. And we'll see how far Instagram followers gets them.
We all came here to play football. So at the end of the day, the millions of followers and fans that they then produced and got and celebrities that then jumped on their side because of who Deion Sanders is, at the end of the day, Deion Sanders ain't playing. It's those players playing. So.
Okay. So you see how silly they sound right now? You got beat soundly, man. You got beat sound and convincing. And this is what Coach Prime was saying, that they let these young men come out here and say this. And he feels, I don't know, is it Jay Norvell, that Coach Norvell, did he endorse this because he can't keep Coach Prime out of his head either? Listen to this.
Colorado's quarterback is the all-time leading passer in Colorado history. He threw for 3,200 yards. So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program has ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't. I don't think about Deion Sanders. No.
You do think about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is completely in your head, and this is why you got beat tonight. Jay Norvell, you ran your mouth off about Coach Prime shades. You let your players put that video out talking mad trash, and they didn't back anything up. You were even on that video during the Mountain West press conference, as I said in the pre-video that I did everybody the other day, that he was in that press conference talking about how his quarterback has thrown for more yards than even Shedeur, if Shedeur has thrown for more yards in the history or of the program at CU. Continuing saying that he doesn't think about Coach Prime. Well, you're going to be thinking about Coach Prime tonight, and you're going to be thinking about the players and what they did and what your players did not do and how goofy it was of you to let your players go out there and put that type of video out, which was it looked really bad. And what I found out is that Coach Prime, when he heard about this, he did exactly what I had said in my pre-video yesterday, everybody. I think I think that the coaches and players at Colorado, they're listening to the content creators. They are listening to us. Everything that they did you notice? Tell me if I'm wrong or right by put sevens in the chat room if you agree with me. It's almost as if they've been listening to the things that we've been saying in the social media streams of YouTube, everything that we're saying. We said there needed to be more creativity in the running game. There needed to be more motion, more things, right? In the beginning of the game, Pat Shermer, he ran some plays that didn't make sense in terms of short, shallow routes, which he should have been getting them down the field. And eventually, that's exactly what Pat ended up dialing up. He ended up getting guys down the field. Shedeur had more time in this game to operate. Shedeur did not, I don't think Shedeur took a sack tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not a sack. And I think that's very impressive. And I appreciate everybody that's coming in. Put sevens in the chat room if you agree with my analysis. You know, over here, you're going to get analysis and breakdown. And I got goodies for you. Don't go anywhere because I've got the hot off the presses press conference with Coach Prime, breaking some things down, but also calling out CSU in the pettiness of their video. From what I'm hearing is that Coach Prime didn't say anything to the players. He didn't go rah, rah, rah. He didn't get into the statements that he said last year about this is personal. From what I'm hearing is that he simply took, just like I said yesterday on my video, he simply took the video of those guys that I just played in the opening of this broadcast, this podcast tonight. I simply played the video tonight for you, and that's exactly what Coach Prime did. From what I'm hearing, he put that in the locker room, and he had it playing so that they could hear it over and over again. That's what I heard. That's the rumor. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you that's what the rumor was, that he had it playing, and that was all he needed to do to motivate his team. The defense was superb tonight. They actually did what they were supposed to do, which to put pressure. Once again, this defensive line is improved. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. In this particular game, they showed improvement. I'm talking about in this particular game, they showed improvement. But one of the things that they've been doing since the first game that they played in the season is that they are getting to the quarterback to the point that it's causing the quarterback to have to run out of the pocket, scramble. You saw the quarterback, I don't even want to say his name. Braden, I think is his name. You saw Braden scrambling or running around tonight. You could tell at times he wasn't comfortable in the pocket. He was overthrowing his players. Some of the receivers were dropping the ball. It was almost like Colorado State was playing very similar to the ills and problems that CU had the other week, should I say, against Nebraska. Let's look at the numbers real quick. This is the thing that was glaringly improved to me. What have I been saying the last couple? What have I been saying, ladies and gentlemen? Time of possession. Time of possession. Well, guess what? CU had 30 minutes and 7 seconds of time of possession. Colorado State had 29 seconds and 53. So they didn't, CSU, or Colorado State, as I should say, they came close to our time of possession. So the game was kind of split down the middle. But this was an improvement. It's an improvement in time of possession. You know why? Because they actually did run the ball this time around. And I've got some things to say about some young men on this team who are the future. And I said this, I told you the X factor on this team is that young man, Wester. Wester is a X, and I say double X factor on this ball club. And I'm loving what he did, what he was able to do, what he represents. He was showing up and showing out. He had 2 touchdowns tonight. He was fantastic. I am going to get to the stats. I'm going to get to what they did tonight. If you enjoyed the game, put sevens in the chat room. Do me the greatest favor, ladies and gentlemen, tonight as we get into this show tonight. I need everybody, if you're looking at this program on your cellular phone, your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, you see that little button that says share? That's right. I want you to hit that button and share this to your X, to your Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it, to your Facebook, to your own YouTube channel. If you have a community tab, share it right now because this is going to be a great show tonight, packed with a lot of information. This was great. Jimmy Horn, what did I say in my last video? That we need Jimmy Horn to be consistent, and when he makes plays, it really gets the team going, and he had some plays tonight that we can't overlook. But I am so glad that this game turned out like this because we needed a bounce back. I said that in my pre-video thumbnail. I said bouncing back. And then tonight we say redeem yourself, redeem oneself. And I think they've done that. And Coach Prime said that this week was a great week of practice preparation. You're going to hear him say this in the press conference, a video that I'm going to show you tonight. Don't go anywhere. Share the video. Shedeur, in the beginning of the game, it almost looked like, is this going to be when they went back and forth, and you almost said, okay, this is going to be another one of those games like last year where it's going to go into overtime. Are they going to let this team come back in the game? And the mainstream media made a good observation when they said that, hey, it looks like the defense for CU has come to play. We got guys like Levante Bentley. This guy is NFL. I'm telling y'all right now. Levante Bentley, here he is with a practice outfit on. This is from last year's spring game. This man, or spring practice, this man right here is a bona fide NFL prospect, okay? He plays like a guy that should be playing on Sunday. He plays physical. I think he made up for some of the mistakes that he made a week ago, too. I think these guys, they're coming around. When you bring a lot of guys together through the transfer portal, it takes a while for guys to mesh together, folks, to have chemistry, to bring it all together. It takes time. And I'm very impressed by him. I was very impressed by Hill Green. That young man out there, Hill Green, was all over the place tonight. I'm still looking for BJ Green to have a breakout game at some point as well. But as a collective, they played better. Now, another thing, I played you the video in my pre-video to this game where I had a chance to talk to Uncle Neely, who you know is a part of the CU program. He's out there. He's out there with the players. He sees what's going on. He's talking to Coach Prime. He's got his own podcast. He's been on many podcasts, but he has insight. And I talked to him about the offensive line and guys going back to their position. I'm telling you, everybody, they're listening to our YouTube channels, or maybe we're just saying what the coaches can already see. Either we're saying the things that the coaches can already see, obviously, or they're listening to our YouTube channels and saying, these guys like Big Dog Chico and Prime Sports Media and Dave Talk Buffs and all of them out there. If I'm not naming all of them, Tiger Media, all of them out there. I think they're listening, they're peeking in, and they're saying, what they're saying on their YouTube channels, it don't sound so bad. They sound like they know what the hell they're talking about. Because let's get to it. Looks like Tyler Brown got moved to the inside, as I had been preaching on my channel. And I know many other people were preaching this as well, that Tyler Brown needed to be moved from the right tackle into the inside at I think he was playing maybe a right guard tonight. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. Do you agree with what I'm saying, that it looks like they've been actually listening to us out here on these YouTube streets? You hear what I'm saying, everybody? In the chat room, they're listening. It's not just me as a content creator or content creators, but it's also you all that support these channels who ask these questions, who put excellent, intelligent questions in the chat room that we read, that we have to examine. So they moved him back inside. Did you notice that right side of the offensive line wasn't that bad tonight? And what happened? Shedeur didn't find himself getting knocked on the ground. He didn't find himself in a lot of distress. My only criticism of Deion Sanders, and you guys have heard this already, this is nothing new, is that he's going to, at some point, especially when he gets to the next level at the NFL, at some point Shedeur is going to have to learn or get in the habit of getting rid of the ball a lot sooner. There are times when he takes hits, unnecessary hits, because he still has the ball in his hand when he should just get rid of the ball. And he could draw penalties on these defenders hitting him late. You saw he got hit late tonight, and that was a big roughing on him. That number 55 for CSU should have been thrown out of the game in the same fashion that they threw Trevor Woods out of the game a week ago. He spared him. We're talking about what he did to Shedeur. But my concern about Shedeur is that he had a great game tonight, but I do want to see Shedeur at times in the game just get rid of the ball. Don't hold on to it. Don't let the defense get to you, because it may appear like the offensive line in last week's game didn't give him enough protection, but you also have to look at it twofold, that the offensive line can only hold up for so long, but the quarterback at some point in time, if they're not going to scramble out of pressure, they got to get rid of the ball. Play the percentages, okay? And so they moved Tyler Brown inside, and then they did exactly what we were saying just a week ago. They took Khalid Benson, and they moved him back to the position that he was playing before coming to CU, which was a tackle. They put him at right tackle. I just wonder, everybody, do you wonder, by putting sevens in the chat room, if that might have been part of the problem that they had against Nebraska, is that they had two guys maybe not playing in positions that they were familiar with. Uncle Neely said he doesn't know if it's the natural position for them, but the positions that they were accustomed to playing before coming to CU. I think personally that putting these guys back in their let me not say natural, putting them back into positions that they were accustomed to and used to was smart. For one, Khalid Benson is a prototype tackle. You want your tackles to be big, tall, lean, and long arms. The problem with Tyler Brown is he doesn't have the same long arms. He's got a more compact body, as you can see right there. And therefore, you tend to see those guys playing inside on the offensive line. Tell me if I'm right or wrong by putting sevens in the chat room if you agree with that analysis, that could have made the difference tonight in this game. I appreciate everybody in the chat room coming in, supporting the channel tonight. I want to give you all a great applause. So going back in here, look at what they managed to do tonight. They got 23 first downs. They got more first downs than CSU got tonight. Their third down efficiency was 5 of 11. Their passing yards was 310 yards to CSU's 209 yards. Their interceptions thrown, no interceptions thrown by Shedeur Sanders tonight, but there were 2 thrown by this guy. Didn't I say in my pre-video that one of the weaknesses, see, I give y'all the analysis. I'm not just making up stuff here. When I did my pre-video to this game, the pre-game analysis, I told all of you listening to this video tonight and have listened before, this is not being arrogant, this is not being hyperbolic, everybody, but I mentioned that one of his weaknesses was interceptions. Last year, Braden, who was talking all that trash with Torrey, his receiver, his go-through receiver, who's going to be an NFL prospect. But hell, they should have never let that brother play in this game tonight, because he wasn't there. And he ended up getting hurt more than he already was, messing around with CU, who came to play defensively tonight. But this guy that you see on the screen, he threw 16 interceptions last year. That was always been his Achilles heel. And what did he do for us tonight? He coughed up 2 interceptions that we benefited from. 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions. Fantastic. Now, when it came to rushing, we got 109 yards overall rushing. They got 131 yards. I'm going to talk about the rushing because somebody that I've been calling for, that I've been saying, hey, when is he going to play? What happened to him? There was a rumor, or people said that he was injured. Now he's off the injured list. I think we just found our running back tonight, and we better stick with him at this point in time. I'm going to get into that. Rushing attempts, 19 rushing attempts to their 31. I still think that even though they won this game tonight, they got to rush the ball more. 12 of 111 plays, they got 12 penalties. We got to cut the penalties down. Turnovers, 1 turnover, because there was a fumble at some point in time. But check this out. Colorado State got 4 turnovers. You can't win football games with turning the ball over. A fumble loss, that was CU that did that, everybody, in terms of one fumble. I appreciate you all that are here tonight. Let's get into this part right here because this is excellent right here. Shedeur was 36 of 49 for 310 yards, 4 TDs. Fantastic. Definitely played the game. And then we got Micah Welch, who had 9 carries for 65 yards. His longest run was for 25 yards. Okay. We've had Isaiah, who came over, Isaiah, who came over from, I believe, Arkansas with 6 carries for 31 yards. But the young man that really stood out to me that I think is our future, and he needs to be in the damn game. Get him the damn ball. This young man is like Earl Campbell. Get him the damn football. Do y'all agree with me? Put 7s in the chat room. Every time he touched, doesn't it seem like every time he touched the ball tonight, he literally was running people over or running by people? And I said that Charlie, no disrespect to Charlie, all due respect to Charlie, he's worked hard. He's a great practice player. He's a great change of direction type player. He works hard. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But the difference is that you need this is the difference. Micah Welch has the full package. He's a little compact. He's a compact back who's strong. He's got those thick thighs. He runs with power. He can go inside. He can go outside. And one of the things that he's good at is catching the ball out of the backfield. I did a video on him on this channel when they were recruiting him. Check that video out, because in that video, everything he did tonight in his first touches at the college level, he looked like he had been here before. Micah Welch played and behaved in a way as if he's in his third or senior year of college football. That you see tonight, how he broke tackles, how he was able to beat people laterally, and he can go inside. Did you all notice that tonight? Put 7s in the chat room. Micah Welch, in my humble opinion, is the starting running back of this team. They gave him the ball 3 times. This is what was kind of irritating me tonight. They gave him the ball 3 times in a row, and he made big plays. And then there was, at one point in time, Coach Prime, or the coaches, took him out the game, maybe for a breather, I don't know. They took him out the game, and I didn't like that. And the reason why I thought he should have stayed in the game during the 4th play that they ran after running him 3 times, because at that point in time, he put a scare into CSU's mind that, God, this dude just came in the game. He's breaking tackles. He's running through us. He's getting down the field fast. He's able to break to the outside with that big compact body of his. And at least what you want to do is you want to use him as a decoy. So if you know you're going to pass the ball, keep him in there to force, if I'm making sense here, put 7s in the chat room, to force the defense to think about it, to say, damn it, this dude just ran off 3 big runs against us. Now they got him in the backfield. They're spreading us out. We got to keep an eye on this guy, because maybe they may hand the ball off to him again. See what I'm saying? By keeping him in the game like that, when he's had some successful runs, you're keeping the defense honest. You're keeping them off balance, because they don't know if you're going to give the ball to him again or not. But in their mind, they know that he just 3 times in a row trucked some of us, ran some of us over, bounced. You saw it all night when he got the ball, how he has a kind of body where he can bounce off of people. I don't want to compare him to Barry Sanders, but it reminds me of how compact Barry Sanders was and how he could bounce off of people and make explosive runs. You saw 3 explosive runs from him tonight, which is why the stats look like this. He could have had 100 yards tonight if they would have gave him the ball. And this is my attitude about it. When CU was winning the game, and I know they were passing the ball, I really felt like keep running the ball, because this kid had 65 yards on an average of 7.2, longest run for 25 yards. He had 9 carries for 65 yards. Michael Welch could have had 100 yards rushing tonight. Do y'all agree with me? Put sevens in the chat room. Mama, say it again. I'm going to say it for the cheap seats at the ball game. I'm going to say it for the expensive seats at the ball game. Okay? Micah Welch should have had 100 yards in this game. At some point in time when it was obvious that CU was dominating and controlling the tempo of this game, that's where you should run the ball, because you protect your quarterback, you control the game, and you don't allow the other team to sneak back in there. This young man had 65 yards rushing only on 9 carries. Imagine if they would have gave him the rock 15 times. Imagine if he would have had 20 carries in this game. This young man would have had 100 yards or more rushing in his debut, because every time he had the ball, they didn't want no parts of Michael Welch. And this is a freshman, fresh out of high school.
Tell the truth.
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, Michael Welch is the starting running back of this team. Coach Prime, y'all got to make him the starting running back. It's obvious that y'all been listening to us content creators and listening to the people that follow us and support our channels, because everything that we were talking about, you all were doing out there tonight. I saw motion in the offense. I saw creativity. You saw them trying different things, getting out of this vanilla offense that they've been running. Pat Shurmur tonight for the first time on a few plays here and there. Pat Shurmur, still he's going to have to open up that playbook a little bit more as far as I'm concerned. But for the first time tonight, on a few plays that you called, Pat Shurmur, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes. Here comes the mega speaker. For the first time in this game tonight, in certain parts of the game of your play calling, Pat Shurmur, you gave us the NFL stuff. I had said in the last video, where's the NFL shit? We've been waiting for the NFL shit. And you finally gave us a little bit of NFL shit tonight. Because we saw some running, which created some balance, which created what? You caused the defense to have to be honest. And that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you can all hear me. I know I'm being dramatic right there, but it's just the facts. What do you all think? That they're going to have to keep, CU needs to continue playing football like this, mix it up, be creative. You saw Isaiah in the game a few times. Like I said, he had 6 carries for 31 yards, but it is very clear to me that the true freshman, Michael Welch, is our running back. He came in the game, and when he ran the ball, those three carries in particular, where he really did some damage, and throughout the game, they gave him the ball here and there, but I feel he has to get the ball more. He has to get the ball more. And I feel like if a player is hot, how many of y'all agree with this? If a player is hot, what's going on, James Blackburn, one of my mods? I believe that if a player is hot, ladies and gentlemen, you keep giving them the ball. You keep exploiting their skills. That's my only criticism when it comes to Michael Welch, is that I felt like they should have continued to feed him the rock, because it was pretty obvious that they were controlling the ball game. That was a no-brainer tonight. Let me tip my hat to Robert Livingston. Let's give him a clap, because he called a good defensive game tonight. Okay. Let's tip our hat to him. Did a great job. Let's tip our hat to the offensive lineman coach, Coach Phil. Let's tip our hat to him. Another thing I want to tip my hat to is to our freshman left tackle, Jordan Seaton. Did you guys see tonight? Tell me, put a 7 in the chat room for everybody in the chat room tonight, everybody listening, that you notice tonight there was a particular play that the mainstream media was talking about where Jordan Seaton, with his athletic ability at that left tackle spot, when they were running the ball, and I think Michael Welch was involved in that run again, Jordan Seaton got to the outside. You know that you're a good offensive lineman, particularly at the tackle spot, when you're running the ball and your offensive lineman can get down the field and get to the next level of a defense when it comes to blocking and opening up the holes. And there was a particular period in the game where Jordan Seaton, who you see right here, showed that sort of what I would call NFL type of offensive lineman qualities, the ability to move laterally to the outside, make a block at the next level. That shows great. That's greatness. And therefore, he's only going to get better. He's with more training, more film study, and getting in better shape, and getting in the weight room. And you know Jordan Seaton is going to get stronger when they put that muscle on the fat on his body and get some more muscle on him. He's going to be dangerous. And we saw levels of that. Thank you. So Patricia Campbell said she saw that. Gleam saw that. Robinson put 7, saw that. Maya puts facts. I appreciate you coming over again. Jordan Seaton was on his shit. Yeah, he was on his A game tonight. Let's give him a clap. Jordan Seaton was on his ish tonight. Y'all know what that means. Fantastic statement there said by you. Now, let's go into some more data here. Just a little bit more data before I get to Coach Prime and his press conference for y'all tonight. Let's look at Travis Hunter. He was amazing tonight as always. Travis Hunter, 13 receptions, 100 yards, 2 TDs. He was on fire. Longest run was for 21 yards. LaJohntay Wester, another young man who I think is the future for us. 5 catches, 80 yards, 2 TDs for him. 34 yards was his longest catch. Now, I got to put him up because he's a young player. He is the future for us as well. We can't get around this whatsoever. This young man was outstanding. I had said a lot earlier that I think that he's an X factor. I believed him to be an X factor for this team. I felt it all the way that he would be an X factor. And he was tonight. He made big plays. I mean, he was really the one who began to help open up this passing game for CU. Shedeur got the ball to him. And what we witnessed tonight with Deion Sanders is, once again, if you give Shedeur the time that he needs, he can work all sorts of magic. Coach Prime has said this. If you just keep this in mind, because you know the haters out there are hating the fact that they won this game, right? But Coach Prime, as you see on the screen right here, has said to us time and time again that if you give Shedeur time, he can work all kind of magic. And he did that tonight. I mean, he was methodical in the way he went about his business. What I really liked is that he didn't take a lot of sacks. However, what does scare me is that when Shedeur does throw the ball and get rid of the ball and pass it to someone, he is taking hits after the fact. And what I'm noticing, because of the dirtiness of these teams, some of these teams, is that you could tell that the other teams are trying to literally hurt him, that they want to hurt him. They want to, let me just say this. It appears, allegedly, guys, for legal purposes, it appears to me, allegedly, that some of these teams out here, these oppositions, they're coming into this game to try to literally knock Shedeur out of the game, like where he can't play. So Shedeur has a big target on his back in terms of guys that are taking cheap shots at him. You saw, how many of y'all saw that during this game after he was able to deliver the football to his teammates? Put 7s in the chat room. That's something that you noticed tonight as well. And I appreciate the love that we're getting tonight. We got Ed Houston in the house saying, yeah, smash the likes button. Yes, smash the likes button, everybody. Share the video on your social media. Share, and share. Subscribe to the channel if you're new over here. Tell someone about the channel. I got lots of good stuff for you. Travis was, what can we say about Travis? He was sensational. What can we say, man? Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to the NFL. To me, he is the best player. He is the best player in college football. He's playing on both sides. They were talking about him tonight on the broadcast about how he might be the greatest two-way player in college football history. Okay? We know that there were guys that did some of this stuff before him, but they said that nobody has done it to the level that he's done it in terms of the amount of reps and time that he's playing between both sides of the ball. He's playing on both sides of the ball. And they also were talking about when you're playing on both sides of the ball, you got to be in 2 study rooms. Check this out. You got to study the defense. You got to be in the defensive room. And you got to go over to the offensive room and understand the offensive plan. Think about it. Travis Hunter is literally one of the only players on this team, and I know there's others that can do this, but he is literally studying 2 playbooks. He has to memorize both the defensive playbook and the offensive playbook. That's bunkers. That's something else, everybody. He's got to study both playbooks. So we got to give him the credit that's due him. Now, this young man right here, Winters, here he is in one of the practices this year. Not Winters. Let me correct that. Wester. LeJounte Wester. What is your opinion about this young man? I think he's the one who opened up our receiving game tonight. He was the one that got it going. He got 2 touchdowns in this game tonight. Jimmy Horn made a few plays in this game that I thought was dynamic. He made some tough catches under tough situations to win this Rocky Mountain Showdown. I think the whole thing was great. And if you like playing this on the College Football 25, check it out and play it on the EA Sports. Here you got the matchup right here, week 3. This game was incredible, y'all. Once again, they did everything that we were saying. You had even the tight end. We had been talking about tight ends. Get the tight end involved. And they had Smells. I think they said that I think they converted him from a defensive end to a tight end. Smells caught 1 ball tonight. I want to see, get everybody involved, Pat Shermer. Now they've got Baylor next week. I'm not scared of Baylor. I see that as a win for them. And tonight on the national broadcast, they said that the way CU was playing tonight, getting ready to play in their first Big 12 conference game against Baylor, they're already saying that they believe if CU's defense and offense plays like this, that they can make some noise in the Big 12. Because there are some teams in the Big 12 that they're going to get entangled with, like Kansas State. They're a good team. Utah played today. They're playing good football. But there's some of these teams that they could beat. I don't think that UCF is going to be a pushover team. You see the schedule right here next to me, but Baylor, they can beat Baylor. They could be looking at a 3-1 record after next week. The game against Nebraska was their worst game so far of the year. Coach Prime said they're learning from it. They're going to get better from it. Don't punch down on them because they've got big things coming your way. Let me put this up here. These are the defensive stats is what I want to put up here. You know who also played great tonight and he redeemed himself from last week, and that's the defensive back, DJ McKinney. There he is. He had 7 tackles, 4 solos. Micaiah Hill-Green was all over the place with 6. Hill-Green was all over the place with 6 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. Y'all already know about Levante Bentley. He's the man. He got 5 tackles, 4 solo tackles. Cameron Craig came in with 5 tackles, 3 solo, and Carter Stoudemire, who's filling in for Shiloh Sanders, who's out with the broken elbow, as you already know. Hopefully he can recover and get back in, maybe after 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not sure. But Carter came in and got 5 tackles, 3 solo tackles. Preston Hodge made a big play, made some good plays in the game with 5 tackles, 3 solos. And, of course, Travis Hunter came in with 5 total tackles with 2 solos out of that. Fantastic, okay? But another thing I want y'all to look at right here, and thank you everybody that's coming over, all 306 of you. I appreciate you coming over. One of the stats that I want y'all to look over to the far right. These are the receiving stats for Colorado State's receivers. You see where I have it painted yellow? Check this out. Not one of their receivers, including Torrey Holton, who was talking all that trash. All right, let's see the suspect that I'm talking about that was talking mad trash. He got no touchdowns. Nobody in their receiving core got any touchdowns. Pearson got 51 yards total, with 19 yards being the longest he got. 37 yards for Dylan, their receiver. Justin Marshall. Justin Marshall in the beginning of the game, their running back in the beginning of the game, he was making some plays, but eventually he got hurt. And eventually we neutralized him. And this guy's a pretty good running back. So, but what I noticed, the guys who had the big mouth, and let me put the big mouth up here, such as Big Mouth Braden, running his mouth. Big Mouth Torrey, who is a NFL caliber receiver, who I kept saying they gotta put Travis on him, right? I get frustrated. I say, hey, put your best cornerback against their best cornerback. Put your best cornerback against their best receiver. In this case, it was Torrey. Now, he wasn't 100% healthy, but that's their fault for putting him out there, because eventually he got hurt. Eventually he became a non-factor. But he was talking all that mad smack that I played in the beginning of this video tonight. All that mad smack, and didn't live up to nothing. Their receiving core did not hurt us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not at all. None of them got a touchdown. I don't even think Braden, who was talking all that smack, he threw for 2 interceptions. As I said before, interceptions is his problem, and he got no touchdowns. So overall, CU's defense did a great job of neutralizing what this team does best. It's getting that ball to their receivers and running and mixing things up. They neutralized it. And right here you can see Preston Hodge had a great game tonight. He had the 5 tackles, but check this out. Preston Hodge had an interception. Travis Hunter got an interception. So these are 2 picks. Put this right here. That's right. Preston Hodge had 5 tackles, 3 solos, and 1 interception. And Travis Hunter had 5 tackles, 2 solo tackles for interception tonight. That was fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I want to let you all hear what Coach Prime had to say. Let's get to it, because I definitely want y'all to hear how he broke down, how he thought it was shameful that they let these guys run their mouth and talk the way they did on this team. Jay Norvell, shame on you, man. Shame. I say it again. Shame. Shame. You let your players run their mouth, and you were running your mouth too in your press conference in the early of the year, and now you're looking real silly. And all the haters out there. All right, let's listen to let's get into the studio, the reaction studio, and let you hear what Coach Prime had to say at his press conference. Hot off the presses, y'all. Here we go.
We got some guys that are pretty good defensively. what is happening going on? Does everybody do this or just me? These guys want it. No one's satisfied with their performance. I think we finally got a darn sack. We finally got a turnover. We finally got a couple of picks.
Yeah, y'all did
which
good
was
tonight,
satisfying.
Coach.
But these guys could play the game. They worked their butts off in practice. They worked their butts off studying film. I think the average film time is probably 3.5, 4 hours, per guy putting it in because we
Let me stop that right there. Brother Ed, what did you see tonight? AW says, I saw that too, Ed. We got 5%. Coach Prime stayed humble. Yeah, he stayed humble. He did not get rah about their players talking trash. But like I said earlier in this podcast, it was put out there that Coach Prime simply took that video that I played in the beginning of this show, and he just had it running through the locker room, had it playing, and let the motivation be juiced up from there, okay? We got, let me see. Good folks have come in the chat room. We got Coach G. What's going on, Coach G? Good to see you over here. Everybody. It's good to see everybody. Let's get back to what you all want to hear, which is Coach Prime.
We want everybody to see how much each other watch film so we understand everyone is prepared. But these guys are doing it. Coach Rob is doing a wonderful job, man. He really is, and Pat is as well. They're doing a wonderful job with what we have to work with, and we got some guys that really want it. And we're not there yet. We're slowly but surely improving. And you'd be a fool to look at our team and say we're not improving. That's crazy, especially with where we are defensively and what we're capable of doing offensively.
Tyler, go ahead. After the game last week, you were obviously very encouraged by the second half.
Yeah.
Just kind of sticking with that. How nice is it to see them kind of continue that in the first half?
Well, the goal was to come out there and get a stop. You want to go 3 and out. You want to go, 6 and out. You want to go something and just get off the darn field without relinquishing the score. That's what you want to do. Sometimes it does not work like that, but oftentimes we would like it to. But they didn't get down. And the whole theme of this week was, what do you do when? What do you do when the defense gives up the first down? What do you do when you miss a sack? What do you do when we drop a pass? What do you do when you get called for holding? What do you do? How do you respond? That was the whole theme of the week. How do we respond? We know that happened. Let's flesh it. Now, what do you do to respond?
Just follow up on that quickly. Levante Bentley had a huge strip fumble close to the goal line. How much do you feel like that really kind of solidified the football?
Well, Levante Bentley, first and foremost, has been one of our key players on our defense. I mean, this young man, he is football, man. Like when it comes to our
Boom. I'm glad that Coach Prime said that about Levante Bentley. He is football. He personifies football. I think he might be the toughest. He might be the toughest guy in the defense right now. Now we know that Shallow Sanders is tough, but he's out. We don't know when he'll be back quite a bit. But this man right here, it's obvious that he's the big dog on this defense, particularly within the interior of the defense at linebacker playing along the line, and that this is a guy that is a thumper. This is a guy that likes to play physical. This is a guy that likes to get inside and cause havoc. This is a guy that we can ill afford to lose too, folks. Let's keep that in mind. This is a guy that's a leader in this defense, and he can only get better. He can only get better.
Defense and a hard-nosed guy that's doing it at practice week in and week out. One of the most touching moments that I've had since I've been a coach here in Colorado was I usually go for a walk, me and a few of the other coaches afterwards, but before we left the field to go on our walk through campus and whatever, I saw Levante Bentley getting ready on the field, jogging with Big Q, with Big Barnes. I was like, what is wrong with you? I just gave you the second half of practice off because I know your foot is messed up and your foot is hurting and you're limping. He said, Coach, I got to get the big fella ready. I got to get the big fella ready. He's jogging with this guy and he's limping because he's sewing into his teammate, trying to get him prepared and in shape to play this game. So you talking about a man who I love to life. He is one of those guys, and I'm proud of him, truly proud.
So you can see that Coach Prime is very happy. You could see his expression on the sidelines. He's very happy about this win. And he really felt that everything that happened a week ago, you could see in this game they made improvements. I'm going to say again, isn't it interesting that a lot of us on the social media streets, on the YouTube streets, we all went back to our channels. We all went to our favorite channels that we like to watch. And we all pretty much said some of the same similar stuff, things that we noticed that were glaring issues. The offensive line, the idea of bringing Tyler Brown back inside and Khalid Benson, as I said before, switching these guys back to their positions that they were playing before. Once again, I'm emphasizing this tonight. Khalid Benson was moved to the right tackle, while Tyler Brown was moved back inside, I guess, at right guard. And you can't tell me that didn't make a difference, and you can't tell me that they're not listening to things that we're saying. And then we talked about running the ball more. They did that, even though I think Michael Welch deserves to carry the rock a lot more than he did with 65 yards off of 9 carries. Damn it, that young man, in my opinion, he should have, as far as I'm concerned, he should have 100 yards receiving tonight. But he'll get it because he's just that effective, right? We talked about that. We saw in the offense more motion and more creativity. And that's exactly what we've been asking for. And it looks like they got the message. It looks like the coaches out are seeing what we're seeing, and they made the adjustments. And that's a sign of a good team and good coaching. I know a lot of people have questioned the coaching of Coach Prime as the head coach and the coaches, but the fact that they were able to make the adjustments from last week's game to this week's game and do things that they didn't do last week and make the adjustments, that's also a sign of good coaching, paying more attention to details. And he said the players were really more locked in this week. And I got to be honest, the pressure really was on CU because they couldn't afford to go down 1-2. There was more pressure on them than it was on CSU in this rival game.
And you said you wanted to come out here and have a decisive victory. And you did. How important do you feel that is now for confidence that will build off of heading into
Well, it's important for our line to compete like they competed. It's important for our defense to have consistency and finally get sacks and finally get turnovers. It's important for Mata to regroup and go and make sure he make that field goal now. It's important for Mate to after he shanked one, to come in and land one, and I think inside the 5-yard line. So it's important for these guys to have consistency, for Shador to come back and play the game that he played. And Travis is Mr. Consistent as well. But a lot of those receivers chipped in today, and they did a phenomenal job with their targets that they had.
And the guy that really set it off, everybody, and I said this, and I'm going to repeat it, it was this man right here who, in my estimate, really set it off. LaJonte Wester, he really set it off today, really turned things around, helped to turn things around. We know what Travis Hunter is capable of doing. Both these guys, I think Travis got a touchdown. And let's look at the stats again. This is very important stuff here, everybody. Very important stuff here. 2 touchdowns. Both of them got 2 touchdowns, okay? 2 touchdowns for Travis and 2 touchdowns for Travis and 2 touchdowns for Wester. This is fantastic football that they displayed tonight in the receiving corps. And there's Wester right there again. And this is what it's all about, folks. This is how we want to see and we envision this team being able to play in tight games like this. This is what they need to do. They paid more attention to details.
Yeah.
What's going on, Big Worm 28? What's going on, Northside? Good to see you over here, Northside.
How stupid is that? This is Travis Hunter. Dude, this is Travis Hunter.
Now, let's play that back. At the end of how many of you noticed tonight at the end of this game, there was some disrespect from their quarterback, Braden, who was talking that mad crap, right? And it looks like at the end of the game, you know how players shake hands and you try to show, sportsmanship? Looks like they were Let's hear this.
With their targets that they had. Yeah.
Okay. So the reporter is asking Coach Prime about the shenanigans of disrespect by CSU. And I blame it on the coach because you know damn well if this was the other way around and it was CU that was talking the trash about CSU, and if CU would have lost this game, the reporters would be talking about all the trash that, so if it's good for the geese, it's good for the gander. Either way, I got to put the blame on Coach Norvell because they would be blaming Coach Prime if his players were talking trash about their players and they would have lost this game tonight. He wouldn't have heard the end of it. They would have been asking him over and over again. So Jay Norvell, I wonder if the press has asked him the questions of how he allowed his players to put out that video in such a orchestrated stage way that they did it. Very disrespectful.
How stupid is that? This is Travis Hunter. Dude, this is Travis Hunter. This is Travis Hunter. Like, who does that?
Goofies.
I
Goofies
wouldn't
do
allow
that.
my kids to do that.
Right, see?
And y'all know that. And that ought to be said. But when you allow kids to sit in an interview and talk against us, and you just got beat by 50-something week one?
Right.
Come on, dog.
Listen.
We owe them one. And that's just something that's been sitting on everybody, mind since we came back from break. We owe them. And we walked away from that game, as, we kind of left it all on the field. I don't feel like we left it all on the field because we should have murdered them guys. And, they came out with that attitude as they were on top of the world. And this ain't no Cinderella story, so we coming for revenge.
Yeah, they came out with that attitude and thought it was going to be a cakewalk. They saw the reports, 27.5 points or whatever it was. And they got a rude awakening.
No, you got a rude awakening tonight. Y'all lost. This is the second time y'all lost to this team, to CU. You haven't had that trophy back at your place and God knows when. And you lost. You came out, you talked trash. Your coach probably allowed y'all to do this. And now you've got the egg. Damn it, you've got the egg on your face. Just like Coach Prime said, why would they talk about Travis Hunter like that? Why would the coach allow them to spill out this video? This is an orchestrated video.
Real quick, and I think it goes to show that the hype, the media train, all that, it only gets you so far at the end of the day.
No, it only gets you that far. You guys lost in double overtime last year. You had Blackburn who put a dirty shot on Travis Hunter. We haven't forgotten that dirty shot that you put on the brother. That was the dirty shot that Blackburn put on him. And Blackburn, remember, Blackburn never got thrown out the game for that dirty shot on Travis Hunter, right? And now you're talking all this crap, and Coach Prime has beaten you. The players have beaten y'all for the second time. So we shouldn't hear any more trash out of your mouth because you're just jealous of the attention that CU is getting because they have taken it all away from your program when you guys were getting attention, and now it's been taken away from you. And just like Coach Prime said right here.
This is Travis Hunter. Like, who does that? I wouldn't allow my kids to do that. And y'all know that.
But wait a minute. Jay Norvell allowed them to do it. And I like to know, ladies and gentlemen, tell me if I'm wrong or right by putting sevens in the chat room. Shouldn't he be held accountable for letting his kids come out there and talk like that? And shouldn't the press be running his ass out of town? Shouldn't they be asking him every question like this in his press conference? Because as I said before, if the shoe was on the other foot, let's say it again. If the shoe was on the other foot and it was Coach Prime, y'all know how this works. The press would have a feeding day on him. Not to mention, look what happened just a week ago when they lost in Nebraska. Everybody's questioning his coaching ability. Everybody's saying, "Oh, CU ain't gonna win another game this season. They're not gonna be competitive." Blah 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 blah. Well, how about y'all do the same thing to Joe Norvo, who let his players jump out the window like they did?
And that ought to be said. But when you allow kids to sit in an interview and talk against us,
right?
And you just got beat by 50-something week 1? Come on,
That's
dog.
right, that's right.
Somebody help me here.
Telling the truth.
Am I missing something? Straight up, tell me.
Tell the truth.
I don't see where that's done in sports. That has to be allowed.
Right.
Ain't nobody crazy enough to sit up there and say nothing like that.
And the person that allowed it, it always goes to the head coach. This man right here who can't stop talking about. It always starts with the coach because as I played in the beginning, this man cannot
Colorado's
stop
quarterback. Colorado's quarterback is the all-time leading passer in Colorado history. He threw for 3,200 yards. So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program has ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't. I don't think about Deion Sanders.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Who does that?
Who does that, Coach Prime, is the coach who allows it because the players at CSU, as well as Jay Norvell, has had you in his head. They can't get you out the head. That's the truth, everybody. And y'all know it. Y'all know it to be the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's go.
Ain't no bear? That's a darn. I can't say that word. Thank you, Jesus. God, you're so good to me. He's a dog. That's why he has the thing. That's why I love y'all, man. Y'all take care of me, man. They play well. I mean, they could play better, of course. But that.
You hear them asking him. They said, "We noticed you mixed things up on the offensive line." They certainly did. We have been certainly talking about that, and it certainly worked out in this particular game that they played tonight. Let's get back to Coach Prime.
That's not just saying Justin is not in the plans. That's not saying that we don't have several more young men in the plans that we want to have a better rotation. We want to have a rotation going in of at least several players that can play at a high level and protect our quarterback. We really do and help us run the football successfully.
Coach, just your thoughts on the offensive balance this week compared to last week?
Nobody cares about balance until you get your butt kicked. That's the only time you really care about balance. And how many times we ran it? 19, and we threw it 49 times? Nobody. That's a little disparaging, right? That's a little different, right? Nobody.
I'm going to say this again. I get where Coach Prime is coming from, but they're about to go into their Big 12 schedule, and those games are going to count even more so than these few games that they played so far. But I'm going to say it again, based on the talent of this young man, Micah Welch. Micah Welch has to be a big part of the offense for this team to be successful overall. Why? Because he already proved tonight that he's an every down back. And when Hayden gets healthy and they this is what I like about this. When they get Hayden, who you see right here, healthy, getting the ball handed to him by Shador right there. When Hayden gets healthy because he was out this game, and can you imagine if Hayden was available this game? I like the 1-2 punch of Hayden and Michael Welch. I think you need to have both these guys in the game sometime at the same damn time because Michael Welch proves that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So he becomes a threat in that way. They need to have an interchange between these two running backs. But I think right now, based on what Micah showed us in this game, this sample size that he gave us, I think that he should be starting next week against Baylor, and I bet you he's going to have a breakout game against Baylor if they give him the ball. More carries are necessary, Coach Prime. I know what you're saying about, well, balance is if you lose or no, sir, all due respect. Get the ball in the hands of Micah. He showed you tonight, and when you get the ball in his hands and you get an offensive line that's opening up holes for him, he can do a lot of damage. Do y'all agree with that, everybody? Put sevens in the chat room if you agree.
Nobody cares about that until you get your butt kicked. When you get your butt kicked, that question come from you all. Like, what about the balance? Ain't nobody care about no balance.
No. I love Coach Prime. I love what's going on with this win tonight. But I'm going to say this. This is the truth. You cannot win football games. You cannot win a national championship. You will not be able to get to a bowl game if you are a one-dimensional team that can't not run the ball. If you look at all the teams that make it to the tournament, even when it was just 4 teams that can make it to the tournament, what did they all have in common? They all could run the ball. They all had a balance between running and throwing. You cannot, that's why, let's be honest, that's why they lost last week. One of the reasons why they lost to Nebraska last week is because they were one-dimensional. They could not run the ball. They were making mistakes. A lot of things were falling apart around them, and they just went to passing and passing and passing and passing. They became one-dimensional, and their offensive line did not handle the pressure of a pretty stout defensive line in Nebraska. And if you can't run the ball against those type of teams, you're in trouble. And I'm just going to be very honest and factual about that, folks. That's just the truth. But let's continue. Much respect to Coach Prime, though, but I still think, sir, you're still going to have to blend that running game as the season goes on even more so.
As long as you win the game, that's what people care about. We would love to build that tremendously because we have backs that can do it.
Right.
Unfortunately, we put it on the ground one time today, and that's not indicative of who we are. But
you have to have balance. That's right, Coach G. You have to have balance. This is not to punch down on Coach Prime or to be a hater towards Coach Prime. It's just a fact. On all levels of football, little league, high school, college, you can ask any. You got to have. I don't know if it's so. Maybe the balance word throws people off. The bottom line is, teams that win championships are teams that have some form of a running game in which they can consistently go to that running game to control possession, control the clock. That's football.
How old are you, man?
19.
Proud of you, man. Proud of you. You give him a one-on-one whenever he wants it. I got you, man.
Kind of a long question. Against North Dakota State, you guys averaged 2.6 rushing yards per play. Again, and then against Nebraska, it was under 1 rushing yard.
Yeah.
But tonight, you guys averaged nearly 6 yards per rush. So what changed to make the rushing game?
Just the intensity and the understanding of our team that this needs to happen.
So you see right here that the young man that he was praising there, that's a reporter, Michael Welch, on 9 carries with 65 yards, he averaged, 7.2. The young man said they averaged about 6 yards of carry, but Michael Welch himself was able to average 7.2. That's pretty damn good. 25-yard run. That was pretty damn good tonight. Let's get back to it.
Pat is a pro, so definitely he's calling runs. He wants to call runs. That's the life he comes from, with a lot more balance at the professional level.
Did Coach Prime just say the very word that he said? That he just said, hey, when you win games, nobody cares about the balance. But didn't we just catch him say that Pat Shurmur, see, it's just an education for all of us. He said that Pat Shurmur, the world that he comes from in the NFL, is a world of calling plays and having balance. And he admitted that Pat Shurmur called that such game tonight. Okay? Coach Prime said it out of his mouth just a minute ago. I didn't make him. He said it.
Men in the front, they got to make up their mind this is what we're going to do. And we're not waffling. We're going to do it. So, but it's hard when you got a guy like Shador who a quick screen is 5 to 7 yards. There's anything behind the line of scrimmage is caught or not more than 5 yards. It's caught. That's just like a handoff. It's like a long handoff because he's so darn accurate.
Couple more, Brian. Go ahead.
How you doing, sir? Yeah.
Last week you kind of had this team that really meet the moment.
Right.
What does it mean to you to see this team meet the moment tonight?
Well, I'm proud. I'm truly proud. I mean, coming down the street, time we walked out the locker room, I heard how much we suck, you know, and I hate using that word and that terminology, but that was said in all the profanity that we were ushered into. These guys stood up.
So there was a rumor, or there was a situation last week in Nebraska where there was people said that some of the Nebraska fans used racial slurs towards the team last week, or some of the coaches that were walking off the field. And that, and you heard Coach Prime say right there that there's been some slurs thrown at them since they lost that game last week. That's an unfortunate situation. We don't want to see stuff like that. That's nasty. And whatever the racial things that came out of Nebraska, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's Nebraska. It's not an urban setting. I don't even know how large the black population is in the Nebraska area. But I just know that slurs and racial slurs have no place. This is football. This is sports. And I don't think the coaching staff or any coaching staff should have to experience something like that. It's ridiculous. Let's continue.
Come on, man. We can hear. We have ears. We have two of them, matter of fact. And we heard all the foolishness, and might as well abandon the darn season with one darn loss. You know how many people have lost one game in college football? Some really good teams that lost one game. We like to think that we're one of them. Yes, we're developing some things. Yes, we're working on some things. But yeah, you see this arrow is headed in the right direction, especially defensively. And you know, everybody knows the formula. You protect two, you go. It's simple. A couple more guys.
What do you all think about what Coach Prime just said there? I mean, he's telling it. He's telling the truth. What are your thoughts? I'm glad that they won this game to get things back on track. But Coach Prime said, "Hey, the coaches have ears, players have ears. We're hearing what's happening." But what he's saying is true. A lot of good teams have lost games. I think Notre Dame lost a game last week. There's a lot of good teams. LSU, I think, might have lost a game. There's a lot of good teams, but keep this in mind. Let's keep some things in perspective here. The first 3 games that they've played of the season are out-of-conference games. Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken, is in the Big Ten. North Dakota State, we know about them. They're in the FCS. And Colorado State is in the Mountain West, and they said tonight that they're moving to the Pac-12. And I don't know why. The Pac-12 has got, only 1 or 2 teams, but they're going to the Pac-12, probably because they're going to get more money. But they're going to start their conference schedule starting with Baylor. So it's not the end of the world, because they can end up potentially competing for the conference championship. And if they can get a conference championship, well, they're guaranteed to get a bowl game, and they may even be eligible to get into the 12-seeded playoff system for the national championship. Now, it's possible. I don't want to jump ahead, everybody, but anything is possible if they continue to play like this, learn from their mistakes, and get better. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Baylor is a team that scares me. I think I'm going to say it again, they may be very well, after next week, be a 3-1 team. And it's early. See, it's early in the season. Trust the process. There are going to be some ups and downs and overflows and what have you.
Coach, Kai Hill Green got the start at linebacker today.
Yeah.
Kai Hill Green was good today. Kai Hill Green.
I think he started last week as well. He comes to play. He's a student of the game. He plays very physical. I think he has some tremendous physical stops today as well. But he lines the guys up, get them going, and he's like a pro out there. He does a phenomenal job. My brother. Mm-hmm. Well, their preparation, the attention to detail, did a lot more inside run this past week than we did done in previous weeks.
And guess what? That inside run that you did more than previous weeks was led by my man right here, the freshman sensation, Micah Welsh, top-notch recruit that you brought over, and he showed you flashes of what the possibilities can be. Get that man the damn football.
Tell the truth.
Michael Welch.
They just didn't like what they heard. I mean, it's not kind for young men to hear how bad they are consistently. It's not kind. As coaches, we could get on them as well to confirm some things, to challenge them in some manners. But soon, also during the week, I said, all right, now it's time to build them up. It's time for us to build them back up so we could prepare them for this contest. And they came to play. From the first play on, they came to play. I'm so darn proud of them. You have no idea. Just seeing their eyes and how they lit up on that field when they were driving and doing what they wanted to do. And I don't know how many times two got touched tonight, or did we even surrender a sack? I know he did a good job of running around.
Coach Prime Shador did not get a sack tonight. He got some pressures on him after throwing the ball. But Shador, in terms of being sacked completely with the ball in hand, no. That's an improvement from a week ago. Would you all agree that that's an improvement from a week ago? That a week ago he got sacked 6 times, and we were talking about, oh, something's wrong with the offensive line, even though it was just one sample size. We only have a small sample size. And then all of a sudden, like I said, they made the adjustment with Tyler Brown being moved back inside, Khalid Benson being moved back to maybe a position that he is, in my opinion, maybe he was accustomed to, which is playing that tackle spot. There's Khalid Benson right there. He's accustomed to playing that tackle spot, and maybe that is the big difference that was made. Adjustments can change a world of things. Let's continue with Coach Prime here.
I'm trying to get rid of it. So that was phenomenal as well. Phenomenal adjustments by Pat and Phil and those guys in the offensive rooms.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you all. I appreciate you. But I just want you to have the same passion when you see foolish things that you have when you see things on our behalf. I'm not asking you to jump on anybody because I don't condone that as well. But, I just like balance. Balance in any part of life is wonderful.
Makes
God
sense
bless
to
y'all.
me.
Y'all get home safe.
All right. There it is, folks. Wow. This is, let me take some of your questions in the chat room before I end the post game. This is fantastic. Very excited about what took place tonight. This is exactly the type of game that they need to bounce back from, everybody. Exactly the type of game that helps one to bounce back from a situation that they were in. Woo! Hell of a game tonight. They're going to have Baylor next week. I'm not saying that they should overlook Baylor. No, they shouldn't overlook any team. But I think that they can beat Baylor. I think they can do the same thing to Baylor, what they did to CSU, and even better. I think they can compete when they are focused and everything is clicking on all cylinders. Tonight, for the first time, we saw everything so far click on all cylinders. Everybody, let me tell you right now, I want to say thank you for watching tonight. I want to say like and comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, tell someone about the channel, because I definitely would appreciate that if you did that and everything like that, everybody. It's been great talking to you tonight. And they're going to be starting the Big 12 play starting next week, the Big 12 play. So do not underestimate the situation. And I want to go into something else before we end anything tonight. I want to show you what do I want to do here? There was something that I wanted to bring up in particular. Oh, let's go ahead and hear what some of your thoughts are in the chat room right now before I end it. That's what I need to be doing right now before I end the program. Let's hear what you have to say before I close it out tonight. So we got Northside who says, because check downs could help with getting yards on the first down, which makes others downs easy. I agree with that assessment. We got Coach G who's come over, and Coach G has said this. They can beat Baylor if they have a balanced offense attack, for sure. We have, let me see here. Dana 007 says, Danny 007 says, you did a good job this evening. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for saying that. And we got 5% who's come over saying Northside is speaking facts. Yeah, Northside is speaking some facts. And then we have Mr. Hall. Let me give Mr. Hall some respect, who put 7. So I guess, Mr. Hall, you're agreeing with the analysis tonight on my channel, and I appreciate you, sir. Hope you having a great weekend and your family. We got Maurice Johnson, who says Nakai Green is a dog. Yeah, Nakai, I think Nakai Green, I can never say that first name quite correct, but I think it's Nakai Green, is a dog. But this is what's crazy, everybody. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, everybody, before we go anywhere tonight. Do you guys realize that we played without Shallow Sanders because he's out due to injury, right? We played without Trevor Woods. We got key guys out of the game tonight. Trevor Woods didn't play tonight because of injuries. Shallow Sanders, who's an enforcer in the secondary, he wasn't out there. I'm telling you what I'm trying to tell you, everybody, that this Mountain West showdown could have been worse. They beat them by 28-9. Do you know that the score could have been higher than that for these reasons? If Trevor Woods was out there playing, if Shallow was out there playing, maybe he could have got an interception. Matter of fact, we're missing our guy, Shadozi. Shadozi has been the most active in the last 2 games, even the game that we lost in Nebraska. Imagine if Shadozi was out here playing with the other 2 guys that we got missing. Do you know that this could have been a complete it was a wipeout, but it could have been even worse if those guys were playing. So if those guys are out hurt, can you imagine what that will do to the team when they get them back? Just a thought for everybody's brain out there, everybody's mind. Wait a minute, Trevor did play? I never saw. He did play? Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see Trevor. I don't know what it was. I didn't see Trevor. And then maybe because they didn't call his name. But I was under the impression that he got injured last week. So thank you for the correction. According to Northside, he said Trevor did play, but I don't remember seeing him in the game. Or at least if he did play, they might not have played him at full blast because, he might have been injured still and maybe they had him come in on but I didn't see him. I didn't see his number. I didn't see him did anybody else see him? I don't remember seeing Trevor Woods tonight. He was right there. Okay. I just didn't remember seeing him because his name didn't get called tonight. I don't remember hearing his name called or seeing him on the TV screen. I don't know how I missed that, folks. You're pointed out great facts. Thank you, James Blackburn. I appreciate that. Ed Houston said this, competition just increased. They are going to try to keep their spots. Let's go, champs. Right. And Coach Prime already said in the press conference tonight that you're going to see a rotation of guys coming in, and particularly on the offensive line. So we're going to see some changes maybe down as things go and progress. Crime and Punishment TV says he got limited snaps. Thank you. That's why I didn't see him. So he wasn't out. He got limited snaps because of injury problems. So they probably said, okay, we could play him a little bit, but maybe not play him the whole game because we don't want to risk him doing further damage. That's what CSU did with their receiver, Torrey, number 14. He was already hurt, and he got even worse because they let him play when they probably should have set him down or limited his snaps. Okay, we got Mr. Hall who says this. I thought the ball was kicked much better tonight. Did they replace the kicker? Mata did not do well tonight. He had a 30-yard kick or what was it, a 40-yard kick tonight, and he completely missed it. However, CSU's kicker, he missed a kick too before halftime. And so these kickers just not looking good tonight on either side of the football tonight. Coach Prime already said in the press conference tonight that he's going to have to, they got to go back into the laboratory, work with him. They've got two kickers on this team, one who has a stronger leg. I don't know. I don't know what, to me, if I got a kicker who has a stronger leg, I'm going to make him the starter. Mata has made some tough kicks for us. Let's not sleep on this young man. He made a tough kick in the game against North Dakota State to seal that game. Let's not forget about that. That's the life of a kicker. They make kicks. They're a hero. They miss kicks. They miss kicks. They're the laugh of the town, right? Northside said K-State plays like North Dakota State on the steroids. K-State was North Dakota State's head coach. Okay. So the head coach for K-State used to be at North Dakota State. Remember, we got Dylan Edwards we're going to have to deal with, who was with the team when we play them. He's someone that we have to be reckoned with. But we can handle ourselves. AW says that CSU quarterback looked shocked in the first quarter, and it seemed he never recovered. Right, but see, this is the thing. He was talking all that trash. All that trash. He talked all that trash. And he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have been talking all that trash, y'all. Right? This kind of trash.
And they got a rude awakening real quick. And I think it goes to show that the hype, the media train, all that, it only gets you so far. At the end of the day, you have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys, and we'll find out who wants it more. And
we did find out who wants it more. Our guys want it more. He said, we have to line up 11 guys, and you have to see who wants it more. Well, CU's players wanted it more. You wanted it less. That's why you look shocked tonight, because it wasn't the headlines that you were looking for in that town called Colorado. You looked silly tonight, and you played silly. And your coach, as far as I'm concerned, Jay Novell, he endorsed that crap and allowed it to happen, just like Coach Prime said. Let's get back to the chat room and get your thoughts before I end the program tonight. Let me see. We got my man Viro Authority, who comes in the house. Much respect to you. Image getting beat by clicks and likes. Yeah. Hey, man, I got to give you a clap for that one. Yeah. Man, you should put that in make sure y'all put that in your Twitter and all over the social media. CSU got beat by clicks and likes. Right. I love it. They got beat by clicks and likes. That's right. We got Crime and Punishment TV says Meta is usually more accurate from short distances, but Feely has the strong. So then let me ask this question, Crime and Punishment TV. What I don't understand, and it's a head scratcher for me, is that if Feely has the stronger leg for longer kicks, why didn't they put Feely in to kick that kick and just wait to bring Meta in on the short kicks? Am I making any sense, or tell me if I'm wrong, everybody? It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. If you got a guy who is got a stronger leg, not a stronger arm, but a stronger leg, and he can kick a further distance, then you put him in on long distance kicks. That's a head scratcher for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. We got Danny 007 says kickers are supposed to make the kicks. That's why you put them out there for the attempt. Right, because that's the only job that kickers have on a football team. But see, this is my thinking, everybody, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but I think now I'm probably wrong for this, and I've heard other people say this, like Skip Bayless, who used to be, with the Undisputed and all that, and First Takes and all of that. But I've heard people say, why should football players who are out there in the trenches, catching the ball, throwing the ball, making the plays, why should their season, their game, their season, their game, the championship, why should it come down to somebody kicking the ball? Let the players on the field win the game. So my thing is, maybe they should get rid of kickers. And when you score a touchdown, just have you try to score like the 2-point conversion again or something. Because I'd rather the ball be in the hands of the team, the quarterback, than the hands of some guy who's a kicker sitting on the sidelines for most of the damn game. And then when the game is on the line, here now you putting it in the hands of some dude who don't even play football full time on the field full time. Something about that's a head scratch. That's just an opinion, everybody. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just putting that out there for food for thought. That's all. Let me see what Crime and Punishment is saying right here. He says probably trying to get his confidence up for Meta, but I agree. Thank you. Let me see. Ed Houston says Meta's been with Prime since Jackson State. I think it's a little favoritism. I could be wrong. Nah, Ed, you probably on to something there, man. I don't really want to spell it out too much because there's a lot of things that you could say could be favoritism when you've been working with kids for a long time, right? I mean, Coach Prime was working with Dylan Edwards for a long time, since Little League football, and he ended up, putting him out there, but he had talent, right? If you got talent, and it's not that Meta don't have talent, because like I said, we've seen this young man make big kicks for us going all the way back to Jackson State. So it's not like he can't make a big kick. I just feel like if you got a guy who's more accustomed to long distance kicking versus a guy that's not, then to me, go with the guy who's got the long foot. James Blackburn says clicks and likes. That's who they beat. Oh, I like that. Okay, Mr. Hall comes in and says, use the best kicker, period. Facts, sir.
Tell the truth.
Facts, and double facts. We got Brother Sam who's come in. He says, like Crime and Punishment TV said, Meta is usually more accurate from a shorter distance, but Freely has the stronger leg with less accuracy. Oh, I get what you're saying. So he's got a stronger leg, but he has less accuracy. So even if he was a kick from long distance, there's a chance that he may not have the accuracy to get it in between. Yeah, well, damn it, then I tell you what, Coach Prime needs to recruit another kicker for next season. It's just that simple. He needs a kicker. See, what Coach Prime needs, everybody, is a kicker that has everything in one. A kicker who has accuracy, a kicker who can kick long, short, and long, and period. He needs the whole damn package. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to find those guys. They're all in between, but damn it, that's what he needs so that he doesn't have to use two kickers when he can find a kicker that can do both skill sets in one. Therefore, you open up another scholarship for somebody else, like another skill position player or some more beef on the defensive line that they definitely need more of. Just a thought. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just saying. Okay, what's going on? The Xavier man. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he says Phil's kicks 40-plus yards. Mecca is 40 below. Feely kicks 40-plus yards, and Mecca is, you're right. Good point. Let's go back to some more of these thoughts before I end the podcast tonight. Okay, we got Brandon 1050. How do we start the season without new kickers? We had bad kickers from last year. This makes no sense. Well, let me just say this. I think the transfer portal is shut off. So you can't bring anybody in from transfer because they can't come in. That's shut down right now. The only way you can get new kickers in the program is that they would have to come in as a walk-on, meaning they're not going to be on scholarship. I think that's the only way that CU could improve their kicking game. Is that, first of all, they got to find someone who encompasses the ability to kick long, short, with accuracy, right? So you got to find that. And guess what? There ain't a lot of those around, because don't you know that every other college football team wants that kicker? Every other NFL team is looking for the same thing too. Ain't that many of those guys? There's a few of them, and most of them have already been taken by other teams. So unless you can find somebody in South America, Mexico, where you got guys that play soccer and they used to kicking the ball, you got to go somewhere where people are playing, because I think Meta, I think he plays soccer. You got to go maybe out of the country. You got to go somewhere and find that talent. But then the problem is, can you give them a scholarship when the window's been closed? I think you could put somebody on the team as a walk-on. But then you got to get rid of somebody's scholarship if you're going to make this player the player. See, it's very complicated. It's very complicated. We have to see how this happens. Let's see. Otherwise, Meta would be gone. Yeah, he would be gone. And like you said, he's not going to be gone because Coach Prime has been with him since the Jackson State days, and there's a relationship there. I don't think he's going to do that to the young man. Meta only is good at kicks. Meta is only good at kick. Let's see. I am available. Oh, wow. James Blackburn says this. HIH, Frankly, Beverly, and James Earl they just shout out for these two black icons. Oh, yeah, shout out to them. On my other channel, The Information Man Show, I just want to give you guys all a heads up. If you go over to my other channel, The Information Man Show, and you go into my community tab, I have a museum of stuff like that in my community tab. My community tab on that channel is the best community tab on YouTube. It's like a history museum. I've already got Frankie Beverly in there. I've got James Earl Jones. I got all kind of history tidbits about history. I've got stuff that people that you probably even never heard of, or you didn't know that they did certain things, or people that you did hear of. So check out the community tab on The Information Man Show, because all I do is drop dimes and powerful information in that community tab. Just a little plug there on the other channel. Miss Peggy Roster is a model on that channel. She could tell you exactly that you'll find nothing but pure, powerful history, pictures and information and all sorts of stuff in that community tab. Check it out. You'll love it. Let's see. Let me see. Crime and Punishment said this. Punishment TV. We need a kicker with a long leg and no ditty. That's true.
Tell the truth.
We'll see how it all works out. Okay. Yes, I'll like that. That's important. Okay, cool. Thank you, James Blackburn. I like to say, let me shout out to all the mods. We got James Blackburn. We got Peggy Roster. We got my man Ed in Houston. Everybody that's here tonight, I thank you. I think I'm going to get ready to end this in a moment because I know it's late. Well, it's a Saturday, but I know it's late for people all across the country. This was a great game tonight. And They did exactly what we needed them to do. Get back on track, okay? Bounce back. Redeem yourself. They did it all tonight. I'm not saying that Baylor is going to be an easy game, but I think if they could beat CSU, they can certainly beat Baylor. So I'm looking at them winning their first game in the Big 12, primarily against Baylor. As you see that right there, to start off the season on the right foot. That's what I see happening. And before I go, let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to present to you all tonight before I end the broadcast. Let's double check, make sure I haven't left. Oh, once again, we got to give this young man props. The two young players on the team, once again, LeJounte Wester is the man. Okay? Michael Welsh is the man. These are young guys that are the future. Levante Bentley is the man, okay? Shedeur Sanders out through you. He out gunslinged you. And oh my God. Braden, you are you're a joke, man. And this is what you get. Okay?
PS3.
Oh God, y'all. That's what he gets. Shedeur played his butt off tonight. And wow. I think that's all I got for you tonight, everybody. Make sure y'all share this video and all your social media. Tell people about the channel. I really appreciate you all. Subscribe. Thank you for watching tonight. It's been one of those great nights. And we'll be back at it. I'll be giving you a pre-produced. I'll give you not a pre-produced video. I'll be doing a pre-game analysis on Baylor, the players that they should watch out for, what their record was a year, what their strengths and weaknesses are. So be on the lookout for me to drop that video. That'll be another live stream prior to the game that they'll be playing against Baylor. And I think that they can handle Baylor and go 3-1. I'm gonna say it again. Go 3-1, ladies and gentlemen. So don't give up. Believe in the process. Don't give up on this team. Because I know not a lot of naysayers out there have given up, and they got so much nasty things to say. You know that. You know how this works, everybody. Okay? Don't give up on the team. Believe in yourself. Subscribe. You see over there. Subscribe to the channel. Let people know about the channel, what we're doing over here. And we're going to keep it going as fully necessary to keep this whole thing going, everybody. I appreciate you all in the house, y'all. Peace. Info Media Reacts, baby. Let's Info Media Reacts is another channel that I have. I'm going to promote my channels. Hell with it. Another channel that if you like polarizing materials or content where we react to various videos and things that are going on in social media, with pop culture. I also have another channel called Info Media Reacts. Check that channel out. Subscribe. I've been it's been doing pretty well over there. Check out the Information Man show as well. And with that said, let's get out of here, folks. Take care. Peace.
You've been listening to Prime Sports Media. Thank you once again.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Prime